What's up, guys? Beyond, I'm back with another video. And we got the Truck Series race reaction to do tonight. The Truck Series opening up the second round of their playoffs at Las Vegas. I missed the first half of stage one, but I was able to watch the rest of the race, so I did end up deciding to do a race reaction. And I'm glad I am, because this race, specifically the end of it, is giving me a lot to talk about. And yeah, this might be one of my longer videos of the race review. So, which is kind of funny for a Truck Series race, review, but either way, please make sure to drop a like and subscribe to the channel. Make sure to use code ANJJ for free shipping on orders of $20 or more at Circle B Diecast. And let's get into this, shall we? So, Dylan Lupton and Keith McGee. Lupton for unproved adjustments, McGee for a driver change would both start at the back. I didn't see what happened, but there was an early caution, fortunately, for Chris Hacker, who got in a wreck. He ended up not meeting minimum speed, so his race was done. They never showed a replay of it the rest of the race, and I didn't get to see how that wreck happened, so tough break for him. Haley Deegan had damage early from Chase Purdy. Basically, Purdy got in the back of her truck or something like that, but whatever. McGee got a black flag at one point, which gives you one chance to fix your stuff and get faster. And John Hunter Nemechek would take the stage one victory. Todd Gilliland second, Chandler Smith third, Ben Rhodes fourth, Stuart Friesen fifth, Zane Smith sixth, Christian Eckes seventh, Sheldon Creed 8th, Austin Hill 9th, and Tyler Ankrum in 10th. From stage 2 on, chaos. So early in stage 2, Creed makes contact with Friesen. Zane Smith drops back with a flat left rear tire early in stage 2. The tire came apart on the backstretch. As he slows, goes through turn 3. He makes it to pit road, and then the caution come out for debris, I think like a lap later or something. And when the tire broke apart, it actually ripped out the battery, and it fucked that whole thing up. This crew said that they had nothing to attach the battery to. They did figure out how to get it attached, but they couldn't fire the truck up out of power, did not have enough power. And he would later go to the garage. The team would be deemed mechanical by NASCAR, so they could return if they were able to fix it. And I believe they did. And then after the restart, about a couple laps later, John Hunter Nemechek, his truck slowed way up, and he lost a ton of spots, and then slows again about a lap or two later with a possible battery issue. Now, we will come back to this in a little bit. Nemechek specifically, in relation to another playoff driver and something that happened towards the end of the race. And it's gonna have, and we've got an interesting conversation to go with it. But anyway, so Nemechek would slow on the backstretch. Caution would come out for him with 8 laps to go in the second stage. He ends up coming to a stop. Then the caution's thrown out, and then he gets going again. Now some might look at that as being intentional. Keep in mind, of course, that and then Nemechek said on the radio that he's having issues with the ignition. He has power to the dash, but the truck itself was having issues, and those issues would continue into stage 3. But, they looked at it on pit road, they tried to fix it, and they got him back out there. And Todd Gilliland would end up taking the stage 2 victory with Rhodes 2nd, Hocevar 3rd, Friesen 4th, Creed 5th, Gray 6th, Tanner Gray, that is. Austin Hill 7th, Matt Crafton 8th, Christian Eckes 9th, and Chandler Smith in 10th. We go into stage 3. Creed gets in the wall. He drops back. And that would prove costly because shortly thereafter, we got a pretty decent caution. Tyler Ankrum goes into turns 1 and 2. He ends up getting sideways. Chandler Smith tried to squeeze past him up on the top near the wall. He ends up getting into Ankrum. Smith got into Ankrum. And then Ankrum ends up spinning down the racetrack. Smith comes down. Now, I don't know how Deegan and Chase Purdy somehow got into this. It looked it looked like Deegan spun at some point and then got into Ankrum, and Purdy was just following behind her. But Sheldon Creed goes way down to the bottom on the backstretch to get around that, and he doesn't end up seeing Chandler Smith and plows into the back of him. Luckily, everybody was okay. Deegan and Purdy would continue, but Ankrum, Creed, and Chandler Smith's night would be done. And that's huge because that was two more playoff drivers getting taken out of the race, along with Smith ended up going to the garage. He did end up coming back. And then Nemechek's issues. And those issues for him would pop up again shortly thereafter, with the next caution being for Nemechek. He lost power again coming out of turn 2, gets off the racetrack on the backstretch, and his truck comes to a complete stop on the backstretch. They had to throw the caution out again. Truck comes out, pushes him back to pit road, and he slowly takes his truck to the garage. So that happened. Then we get Tate Fogelman and Brett Holmes would stay out under this caution, while Brett Moffitt, Chris Wright, Danny Bone, and Spencer Boyd all pitted and took no tires. And they gained a bunch of spots amongst the guys that were fighting up at the front. Moffitt would, the highest of them, he would win the race off pit road. McGee got black flagged again. His night would be done. Deegan would end up going into the garage late, towards the end of the race. And then we get another caution out, this time for Drew Dollar. Him and Jack Wood got into a wreck. Basically, it looked like Wood got in the wall, and I think he then somehow ended up getting into Dollar. So that happened. Johnny Sauter stays out. Pretty much everybody else pitted, at least among the lead lap racers. Crafton gets into Moffitt after the restart. Tanner Gray has smoke from his left front tire, which would go down in turn 1. Gray keeps it out of the wall, makes it to pit road. He had to wait a lap to make it because he had Brett Holmes underneath him. But he does make it to pit road, so no caution there. And then this is where the point of contention from this race comes. Carson Hocevar, he has some sort of an issue. He drops back some spots. It was possibly a loose wheel, possibly something else. He comes down to pit road. Now, the point of contention in here was he trying to slow down and he wheel hopped, or did he do this intentionally? But either way, Hocevar spun at pit entry. Now, the thing is, people were wondering, why was that being called a caution? And automatically, when he spun, it was called a caution. So that was looked at a bit weird. Moffitt had smoke coming back out from his left front tire, which was down. That was from the contact before. Hocevar would go back onto the racetrack after the caution came out, after he got the truck righted. Apparently, it was a right front tire that went down. And then NASCAR looked at it, and said, NASCAR looked at it. They felt that Hocevar spun on purpose. So they held him on pit road for a lap. And when we got restarted, it looked like he was 2 laps down. I don't know how he lost another lap. Might have been from being on pit road. Whatever. He was held on pit road for intentionally bringing out the caution. I'm going to put intentionally in air quotes here, because according to Hocevar and according to Nice, that's not what happened. According to them, it was a flat tire that came out and that he spun naturally. Not only that, but Hocevar was pissed on the radio. There's tweets of this. He was pissed, and he essentially called out NASCAR, saying that, one of the tweets, one of the quotes was, fuck it, I gotta find him because, oh, hang on, I got him right here. He said over the radio that the effing Ford truck has done it 4 effing times this year, and he doesn't get a penalty. And then he also said, what's their reason? Did they give a reason, or did they do it because their fucking golden boy is out? Referring to Nemechek. And then Nice afterward, he quote tweeted, I forget whose tweet that account quote tweeted, But they said almost as intentional as the Force stopping on the track today and pulling over for his teammate to win last week. And after he was reported that he held a lap on pit road, they had tweeted out, sorry, we didn't get the script this week. Honestly, like, call this what you will. Was it intentional? Was it not intentional? Let me know in the comments below. Now, some people are saying, now, the point of contention would be watch the clip or watch what happened and watch his hands on the steering wheel. Were they already going right and left before he spun? Or did he intentionally turn the truck? Did he have a flat tire that caused him to spin? Or did he turn the truck intentionally? Now, Hocevar is young. I believe they said he's 18. He's younger than me. And word of note, I am 19. I will turn 20 a week from tomorrow. Okay, because it's still Friday night. Saturday, a week from Saturday, I'll be 20 years old. So how about that? But even then, Hocevar would know better than to spin intentionally. And honestly, I think he has a point with calling out NASCAR in relation to Nemechek because between Nemechek and KBM as a whole, I think, because we've seen this a couple times with Kyle Busch earlier in the year, there were some moments where it looked like there was something sus going on. Like, I think there was at one point, Busch might have spun himself out on the backstretch at one race earlier this year. Him pulling over for Nemechek to win a pair of stages in a race at one point. Just a lot of that. Maybe there is something going on. Maybe there isn't. I'm not here to speculate that. What I am speculating is, did Hocevar spin his truck intentionally to bring out a caution because he knew that he was going to get fucked having to pit under green? And that there probably wasn't going to be another caution to come out before the end of the race? Or did he spin naturally and the holding on pit road was not correct? I'm going to be interested to see what happens. After this video is done being made, I'm definitely going to look to see what else Carson will say. Definitely going to be interesting to see how NASCAR reacts to it. Because, I mean, come on. He's kind of calling out NASCAR here. And if he gets penalized any further, I would be pissed. Because, like, dude, like, there's videotape. Look at the tape. Look at some of the things that he's referring to. You could look back and say, yeah, there was some moments probably where it looked like something sus was going on there. And not to mention, last week at Bristol, in all the chaos of the last restart, some argued that Nemechek pulled out of the way off of one of the corners to let his teammate Chandler Smith go by and get his first career truck win and move himself into the next round of the play and advance into the next round of the playoffs. So, again, I'm just going to say call a spade, and we'll see what happens. But we would get the restart, and it was a bit of chaos. It was a little bit of chaos as well. But in the end, Christian Eckes, who I'm going to remind you all, Christian Eckes is driving the 98 truck part-time this year. The truck that Enfinger was driving full-time last year, won a couple races in, and I believe got to the Final Four in. Yeah, I'm still not over that. The fact that Enfingers had to run part-time this year between the 98 and running some races with Cody Rohrbaugh's team in the 9 truck pisses me off. Enfingers should have been in that truck full-time this year. Just my view. But Eckes, as a rookie, would get the win tonight. His first career win in the Truck Series. And a caution would come out on the final lap due to a wreck with Tyler Hill. So, of course, white flag had already been taken. Wreck happens. So, race is done. It was looking like it was going to be a nice finish between Thorsport teammates. But either way. And speaking of, Thorsport would end up finishing 1, 2, 3, 4. Which is the first time that's ever happened for the Truck Series. And I think and for Thorsport. So, congrats to Eckes on getting the win. Obviously, no playoff driver won tonight. And that's going to be a huge thing going into Talladega next weekend, which, damn it, I have to work during that race, so I won't get to see it. And then Martinsville in a few weeks, because they don't go to the Roval, Texas, or Kansas Talladega next week is going to be nuts. And I mean, if I'm guys like Nemechek is still relatively safe. If he has another bad race at Talladega, wrecks early, whatever, he might be screwed going into Martinsville. I mean, I know this is John Hunter Nemechek, but I'm just saying. Creed is right around the playoff bubble right now. He is fucked, and if he does not finish Talladega, it's all going to come down to Martinsville. That's going to be big for him. Rhodes looks pretty solid right now. There's somebody else that's like 20 or 30 something points up on the cut line that's up there. Oh no, that would be Nemechek. And then there's Friesen, I think is above the cut line right now, and then obviously Zane Smith, Chandler Smith, and Hocevar are below the cut line along with Crafton. So Talladega next week's gonna be wild. I'm really gonna be interested to see how that race plays out and who will benefit and not benefit out of it going into Martinsville a few weeks later. So with all that being said, thank you all for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts down below, especially with what happened with Hocevar, and I'll see y'all next time. Peace.